Good evening, Summoners, and we are back for game number 2 for Singapore Sentinels, going up against AHQ Esports Club for the quarterfinals for the Garena Premier League winter season. My name is Chris, and I'm joined by J-Storm this time around, and we apologize for the abrupt cut for the Jinx music video because we are right back into the game, into the pick and ban phase, and it should show up rather quickly. And yeah, let's take a look at what some of the take a look at what some of the bans are at this point of time. So for Singapore Sentinels, they have banned out Ziggs, Dr. Mundo, and Lucian. And for HQ Esports Club, they have banned out Annie, Riven, and Silver.
So definitely here, they banned out the Mundo down here. The Mundo caused them a lot of problems in the previous game. They went in, they wanted to be aggressive, but Mundo proved to be too tanky in the end. So I think that they want to ban out the Mundo because it's something that they aren't really prepared to do with here.
That's right, and looking at some of the bans, they have, for Singapore Sentinels, they have kind of switched up their bans a little bit, and for HQ Esports Club, they have switched that one last ban for Silver this time around, because I think, mainly because Singapore Sentinels, they do have that first pick, and they don't want Singapore Sentinels to play that Silver. But in exchange, they do give away kill to Singapore Sentinels, and it does look like Hallelujah this time around will be playing that Olaf, and they will secure that Shen up in the top lane as well. But HQ Esports Club, they have gone for the Shyvana, and once again, that Thresh Break. I think the biggest thing for HQ Esports Club is that Thresh Break, and Singapore Sentinels might want to consider taking that away from HQ Esports Club because, you know, I think we have talked about it before between me and Wolf, is that whenever you give a comfortable champion to such a great extent away to your opponent team, you're just creating more threat for yourself. And given the sense that, you know, if Green Tea is so comfortable on that Thresh pick, he'll just probably be able to create more opportunities for HQ Esports Club. And they have secured that Jarvan and Jinx pick for themselves as well. So let's take a look at the team composition, shall we?
So down here we have Shyvana, very strong early game. Jarvan, aggressive jungler. Jinx, very strong at pushing towers. I think once again we are going to see lots of early game aggression from AHQ once again. On the SGS side, we already see Shen and Kill picked up. Looks like they are going to go for something that they're more comfortable with, something that's more 3.13. The Shen with the split push, with the Stag United together, and the Kill to back it up.
Ooh, so they will go for that Taric and Ezreal in the bottom lane. So okay, when I see Taric and Ezreal in the bottom lane, it just kind of reminds me of that video that sometimes we do see during the GPL commercial breaks. And I think it brings a lot to the table, especially for Ezreal. And Choi is quite comfortable playing that Ezreal. We've seen him play that some time ago. But Kailing, this time around, once again, going for the Taric pick, why do you think Kailing wants to go for this Taric pick once again, even though it has not really worked out for him in the previous game?
Kailing is one of those very specialized support players. He likes to play a few support champions and he keeps playing them. And he plays them to a certain level of mastery where he gets this level of comfort and this level of ability they can bring out of these champions. So this might be the idea that SGS is going with. Kailing has been practicing lots of Taric. He is comfortable with Taric. So let's continue with these Taric strategies throughout the rest of the games.
Right, so Singapore Sentinels, like you mentioned earlier, they are going for a more 3.13 orientated team composition. Having that Shen up in the top lane and having Kill once again. No doubt they are the comfort picks for Singapore Sentinels at this point of time, but will Hallelujah be able to step up one notch to bring that Olaf into full effect? That I am quite curious to see.
One very interesting thing to point out here is that once again SGS, they have not been any AoE disengage or engagement down here. We saw that was their problem in the previous game. The AHQ team, they picked up an early lead and they started to shove towers, and they picked up on this fact that in game 1, SGS had no AoE disengage or AoE stunts at all. So the moment they picked up any form of lead, they just went down there and they shoved straight down SGS's towers, and SGS was completely unable to respond to it. Ezreal down there, Taric down there, he has got a single target stun. It is good, but it's just not enough to deal with what AHQ has to offer.
Right, I think that's a very good point over like what you said earlier. And given the fact that Singapore Sentinels and their play style, I don't think they really like to go for this AoE disengage in any of their compositions at this point of time. So looking at what they have at this point of time, what do you think are some of the strategies that they might want to pull out so that they can secure this game over HQ Esports Club?
I think that they have modified the strategy a bit from the first game. The first game, they went with a bit of a wonky composition with Shyvana, Renekton, and the Jace. They were trying to hit a certain level of mid-game spike the moment they got their item thresholds up, but AHQ did not let them get there at all. They dominated them from the laning phase throughout. The lane swap for SGS failed, and AHQ pushed their advantage all the way into the inhibitor turrets. But in this case, I think SGS, they decided to mix it up a bit. We are going to stay with the same strategy, but what we're going to do is we're going to change our laning compositions. We're going to go with laners that we're more comfortable with, lanes that we feel that can win more easily, or will not lose out so hard to whatever AHQ has to offer when AHQ goes all out aggressive.
Right, and for Singapore Sentinels, I'm quite curious to see how this blend and mix and mashup of this composition will work for them, because on one hand, Ben W and Cryonics, they are playing their comfort picks in that Shen and Kill, but Hallelujah are bringing something new to the table, having their Olaf pick for themselves. And Choi, you know, usually for Kill pickups, you will usually expect the marksman to go for a hyper carry like a Twitch or a Vayne, but this time around he has gone for that Ezreal pickup. So I wonder how the intervention is going to work out for him. But HQ Esports Club, they clearly have a ball delivery system team composition. They could easily go in for the command shockwave being carried down by Price on the Shyvana, or even Naze with the Flag Spear combo. And then, you know, just have everyone lock up together, and Green Tea to keep everyone in place as well with the Flay and the Box, and then just letting Garnet Devil with the Jinx pick, and with the Fish Bones as well, just dealing a massive amount of AoE damage. So HQ Esports Club, once again, going for very aggressive team composition, whereas for Singapore Sentinels, it's kind of a, yeah, like we talked about earlier, a bit of mix and match here and there, having a bit of split push potential coming in from Ben W, and then having Cryonics as well. You will be somewhat able to sustain in lane, but Choi this time around on the Ezreal pick, I think he is going to be the main focus for both teams. What's he going to do? What's he going to pull out? What's he going to be doing to be the key difference for Singapore Sentinels?
I think down here that Choi has got a lot of ability with the Astro. The amount of map control and map pressure that Ezreal can put on objectives, and the ability to clear the minimum waves with his ultimate is actually very strong here. But one of the most interesting things about SGS's composition here is that they have the Olaf with the Divine Intervention. You turn on Ragnarok, you become immune to disables, you put Divine Intervention on him, and he becomes immune to damage. There's 5 seconds of complete invulnerability there. With that, let's just note on the side of AHQ, Jinx, she has got no natural jump. She at most has got one flash to try and get away from Olaf. After that, scaling to the late game, the Olaf will be a rather unstoppable force indeed.
Right, I think that's the key consideration for Garnet Devil there. That's why he has gone for that cleanse in the Summoner spells. But, you know, for Green Tea as well, even though we've seen so many great flash flays, flash hooks as well, and the amount of max range death centers that he has put out, I think, you know, in Fresh's innate kit, you still do have that disengage coming in with that Dark Passage. And, you know, sometimes Flay can just give your marksman some space as well. So I think that's going to be what Green Tea would want to do. And there we go. That's the cheer for the home team. That's going to be what Singapore Sentinels will need, the morale booster to try to take this game away from HQ Esports Club. So HQ Esports Club now leading 1-0. But do remember, it's a best of 5 series, so anything can still happen.
So starting on the blue side here, we have the SGS team. They are now carrying down the game. Can they put this even? And on the purple side here, we have the HQ Esports Club. They are up 1 game. Will this become 2-0? Will this become a 2-0 lead for them?
That's right, so Singapore Sentinels, they definitely want to pull off this victory here. And we are just checking things out with the undertow, so landing that on Mr. Albus. So both teams now having a rather conservative start. They don't want to go in for anything too risky. And I think that's the general consensus for the 3.14 patch as well. We generally tend to see less jungle invades, given the sense that, you know, the smite cooldown is much lower. And it's easier for junglers to just secure their major buffs without much contention. And I think that's what both teams are aware of, and they will be going for this defensive start, as we do see Singapore Sentinels just laying out all their members.
So once again, we see Cryonics here on his AP middle champion going for the Biscuiteer mastery once again. And once again, this total biscuit rejuvenation, the moment you click on it, it instantly restores 20 health and 10 mana. So this might be a bit of consideration coming in from the Singapore Sentinels that we might want these masteries to help deal with the super aggressive playstyle from AHQ. We will need this instant sustain and ability to heal up when the jungler comes for us.
Right, so this time around, given the movements around the map, it does look like Singapore Sentinels, they will be initiating the lane swap much earlier as compared to game number 1. And I think that's the right decision for them because they're just so comfortable with letting Choi farm up as much as he can. And last time around, it didn't work out for them because given the fact that when they went for the lane swap, it has been a little late and a little too little for them in that sense. But this time around, having that lane swap right from level 1, I think this will work much better for them.
Yes, as Singapore Sentinels knows that Shen against Shyvana, that's not a very favorable matchup. Shyvana's pushing power and the amount of damage she can deal out from the start to the end of the game is a lot, and it's usually too much for Shen to deal with.
That's right, and given the sense as well that Shen might be able to do a little better in the 1v2 matchup in terms of countering that against HQ Esports Club, because HQ Esports Club, they do have somewhat a playstyle that they disregard turrets, and Shen will be able to counter that quite well because at early levels that Shadow Dash will be kind of negating those early game dives. As we do see Cryonics putting on some hurt onto Mr. Elvis there, as he just chunks him down, and I think that's a relatively good trade coming in from him. As you see Ness picking up the blue buff for himself is also a very standard start for both junglers. And I think the first area of convergence will be down in this bottom lane as we do see Ness hitting down here as well. And Hallelujah is just right around the corner, just finishing up his golems here. And he will be spotted out by the ward as well. Will we see the two junglers face off against each other? There we go. Hallelujah will put on some damage onto Ness here, and Victy will be right around the corner to just back him down there. Oh, there we go with the Shadow Dash not gonna hit the Gunner Devil, will actually take some damage from the turret there. Hallelujah gets the Ignite popped onto him, but he still has a good amount of health, so he will be able to sustain back up. But he's caught in a difficult position here. If he chooses to back up from there, he will possibly be dived on here. And there we go, Ness is just laying around the area. He's not gonna move out of here. And I like what HQ Esports Club is doing here. They know the exact range of the turret aggression and they're just moving around here, and Ness decided that this is a long fight for him, so he will just join his teammates right back into the fray.
Once again, the jungling decision is so important when it comes to lane swaps. When it comes to lane swaps, both teams want to try and race down the opponent's tower as quickly as possible. So, as much as we talk about the bottom lane matchup, oh, here we go, there's an engagement, Flame Trumpets are dropped.
And there we go, and once again, Ben W taking a whole lot of damage. He will flash out of that, but that's one summoner being burned out for them. Will they be able to hold on to this turret? You compare that to the top lane turret, it's relatively healthy for HQ Esports Club, but for Singapore Sentinels, their bottom lane turret, it has been put down to about 1 health as we see the first blood in the mid lane. We actually missed that, and Mr. Elvis will survive with one slither of HP.
Well, I think Cryonics might have gotten a bit too over-aggressive down there, and we saw the Ignite on Mr. Elvis. Oh, here we go, engage at bottom lane.
And there we go, the Death Sentence landing onto Hallelujah as well, and that is being chained up with the Chomper, so non-stop aggression all lane around, and Vinci has to back off of that with about 1/10 of his HP left.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. Small adjustments to Singapore Sentinels game. The first game, they didn't plan out the laning stage as well. This game, I feel that they have thought this out better. They have brought this solution to do the 3-man push after they've gone for the lane stage.
So here we go for a replay of what we missed in the mid lane for the first blood. So you do see Cryonics going aggressive onto Mr. Elvis there, and he's taking a whole chunk of damage as well, but he will take damage from the turret, and that eventually got Mr. Elvis the first blood.
So here now we see the aggression on Shen at the bottom has eased up a bit as the Trash and Jinx have gone back to get some items. Now Jinx picking out the pickaxe. The bottom tower is still not down yet. With this pickaxe though, I think that the Singapore Sentinels bottom tower will be going down very soon.
Right, I think it's a good part for Singapore Sentinels in the sense that they managed to keep the bottom turret alive, despite the fact that HQ Esports Club were playing also aggressive just right there. But, you know, just having keep that for themselves will buy them some time, and I think Choi and Kali, they are very comfortable up in this top lane. As we do see Choi now securing a slight CS advantage over Garnet Devil at this point of time, and it's just because of the fact that they were unable to take down this bottom turret. That's why Singapore Sentinels have this slight advantage, but you know, in the sense, HQ Esports Club still has that first blood money in the bank for themselves, so that's contributing to that 400 goal deficit that we see now in Singapore Sentinels.
But let's not forget, when you bring 3 men down against the 2 of Singapore Sentinels there, you lose out a lot on experience. As we can see now here, Hallelujah comes in for engagement. Flame Choppers drops, but does not engage.
And there we go with the Shadow Dash as well. That will lock both of them in place, but BenW actually took a whole lot of damage in the exchange, and Nace will be able to pick up the double kill down in this bottom lane. Now Cryonics is trading back and forth against Mr. Albus, but it does look like HQ Esports Club will be able to take up that 2 kills as well as that bottom turret, so that will propel their goal lead to a good 2,000 just 7 minutes into this game.
Well, once again, careless play from the Singapore Sentinels, causing them to fall behind in the early game once again. At first, I thought at the start they had a good idea by going down there, defending the bottom tower and getting a bit of experience lead because they were 2-1-3 and they got more experience from the minions when they were killed by the tower.
Right, so HQ Esports Club will continue to push on the early game aggression as they take out the dragon for themselves. So that's one more objective being taken away from Singapore Sentinels in the exchange. You know, we saw in the last game that Singapore Sentinels, even though they were behind right from the start, they managed to keep themselves alive just by taking away the dragon. But this time around, HQ Esports Club, I think they have learned from game number 1 to just kind of take that away from Singapore Sentinels as well, just to completely smother them out in the early game.
But let's not count the Singapore Sentinels out yet. Although they may have floundered a bit in game 1 and down here the early game might not be looking as strong, let's not forget their composition is built towards the mid to late game. So once again, if they can hold out, if they can continue to keep their turrets up and hold out to the late game, they will have the advantage going to the late game against the composition of AHQ.
That's right, as we do see both teams having a small breathing space at this point of time, and I think HQ Esports Club, they are still having a good goal advantage. 2.8k in the bank, 2.8k advantage in the bank, and having that 3k advantage for themselves as well. This time around, we do see Ezreal, Choi now with the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. That has been a while since we last saw that. And I don't know, man, it's some new item innovation here from Choi, and not too sure whether that will work out for him. You know, certainly in the last game that Jace pick didn't work out for him, and this time around bring something new to the table once more. And my question is, will that be the item of choice to scale into the mid game?
Now the Singapore Sentinels must be feeling a little bit irritated about losing the bottom tower. As we see Green Tea and Garena Devil rotate back up to the top lane to stall Chorwee and Kyling out. They failed to down the top tower, they lost the bottom tower, they lost the dragon, and suddenly SGS, they find themselves struggling. This is the part of the game where SGS might tend to struggle a bit when AHQ has got the tower advantage, they have the dragon advantage, and they can start using these advantages to push out the other lanes and gain vision control into SGS's jungle.
Right, so we do see HQ Esports Club once again. Pride's just applying pressure onto BenW, and with the lane swap coming from HQ Esports Club to bring Garena Devil and Green Tea right back into this top lane, it does look like this early game lane swap for Singapore Sentinels will not work out for them, because Garena Devil actually has finished up that pickaxe, and I think the only item difference for Choi is in that Spirit of Elder Lizard, and don't think that will be the choice for him. And there we go with the engagement to Green Tea there. It doesn't look like he might go down the exchange. Will that be the kill? And the Flame Chopper just stops Choi right in his tracks, and he has to flash in to secure that kill. But nevertheless, that was the kill that they were looking for, and the whole crowd cheering for Singapore Sentinels right here in the Garena Stadium.
Well, we see Green Tea on the trash there. He almost got out of there alive. The box there, so much disengaged potential. You drop it, anyone walks into that, gets so much slow. It's almost impossible to chase into anything. The Jinx with the Flame Choppers as well. They have got very good zoning potential from any gangster, but nonetheless, very well played by the Singapore Sentinels. Despite all those disengaged potential from the AHQ team, they went in there and they got the kill.
Oh, there we go, the shockwave onto Cryonics there, and he pops the intervention of himself, but Price will just jump into the frame with the Dragon's Descent, and that will be one more kill being secured by HQ Esports Club. It does look like this mid turret will not stand for much longer, as Price will secure that for himself. That is a 2 turret advantage up to 1 against Singapore Sentinels, and now HQ Esports Club bringing their goal advantage to 3,000, as we do see Choi and Nace facing off up in the top lane, and Nace having a whole lot of damage. Will he be able to take out Choi in the process? And this Super Mega Death Rocket, and there we go, the Zap as well. That is not going to land though, and Price now together with Green Tea right at the back. Kyling now has to go, and the Death Sentence as well. It does look like he will go down to the burnout, and Hallelujah will not be able to save it in the process. He has to pop the Ragnarok as well, and now Kyling is getting collapsed onto by Nace in the same time. But Hallelujah, together with Cryonics, will take out Price in the process, so they trade 2 for 1 up in this top lane.
Well, this must be really a feeling of deja vu here for the Singapore Sentinels team. In the first game, HQ came in, completely disregarded the turrets, shoved them under the turrets and got multiple kills for it. We saw that a kill in the middle. Here we go, Hallelujah comes in on the green team.
Right, it does look like Green Tea will not go down in the process, having that Ignite popped onto him, but that was, and the True Shot Barrage just barely missing him as well. And I was pretty sure if that True Shot Barrage would have hit, that would be a dead Green Tea there.
Yup, definitely. SGS definitely needs to pull their stuff together and start to defend and start to pull their defensive strategies together. They have the Stay United from BenW, they have the Divine Intervention from Cryonics, and they have the Ragnarok from Hallelujah. But yet, AHQ is still completely disregarding them, going under the turrets and picking up multiple kills.
Choi now putting on some good amount of pressure onto Mr. Albus there with the change with the Essence Flux as well. And I guess that's where we start to see the Spirit of Elder Lizard come into effect into this one. And I think this is the reminiscence of the old Blue Ass rebuild that we have not seen for a while now, but instead he has gone for a new component, and I really wonder how this will work out for Singapore Sentinels in this whole exchange. But so far, not too bad at all, having that 99 CS over Garnet Devils 86. And I like what HQ has been doing right here. Look at the amount of wards that they have placed out throughout the map, and this is what we saw earlier in the earlier game as well. As you know, they like to just move in for deep wards and use those deep wards to have control and vision control over Singapore Sentinels and catch them off guard whenever they can.
With 20 seconds here until the next dragon, Singapore Sentinels must be thinking, how are we going to defend the dragon? How are we going to start to secure objectives for ourselves? We are starting to transition from the early game to the early mid game here already. It is 13 minutes on the clock here, and it's about to hit the second dragon.
Right, it does look like HQ Esports Club will start work on the Dragon at this point of time. We see Choi actually try to snipe them off with the True Shot Barrage, but this point of time, Singapore Sentinels have absolutely zero vision onto this Dragon attempt. There we go, the True Shot Barrage, but it's a little bit too early, and HQ Esports Club will be able to secure that for themselves with the Mighty Hands of Smite. And Hallelujah trying to pick away an objective. There we go, the Shockwave onto Cryonics there. But Mr. Albus will not have the necessary follow-up to take down Cryonics in the exchange, but Singapore Sentinels will be able to take away the red buff, at least from AHQ Esports Club.
AHQ continuing their dominating performance into Game 2 down here. They have down 2 dragons, 2 towers, and now they are shoving down the mid lane down here.
Right, this looks like HQ Esports Club knowing the positions for Singapore Sentinels there, making a smart rotation into the mid lane, and it does look like with 5 members around for HQ Esports Club, that's going to be an easy turret for them. So 3-1 in terms of turrets, and at this point of time having a good 5,000 advantage.
Now let's look at what the 5,000 gold advantage translates into items here for the AHQ Esports Club. Let's compare their top laner, Shyvana, Sunfire Cape to the Sunfire Cape option, but she has an additional boots and a now Magic Mantle as well. Comparing the junglers, 3 kills on Jarvan to the 0 of Olaf. Both have Spirit of the Elder Golem there, but Jarvan has his boots already upgraded to the Ninja Tabi and an additional Ruby Crystal as well. Mid laners, Orianna against Kildare. Orianna with the Athene's Unholy Grail and a Sorcerer's Shoes. Kildare only with the Nashor's Tooth. One large item there. Well, if we actually compare these core champions to one another, what this looks like is that they are pretty much even in terms of core items. But what AHQ here has over their counterparts on Singapore Sentinels is that they have boots and they have upgraded them. So this means that they have a lot much more mobility over what the Singapore Sentinels team has.
Right, and I think that's quite important on their sense as well, because they're just playing in also aggressively. They need that extra mobility to catch up to the Singapore Sentinels, and I think having that boots as well just provides an extra mobility should they choose to disengage. And there we go, HQ Esports Club Price just pounding onto BenW in the exchange, and it does look like, you know, Price showing his worth as the Shyvana player up in the top lane. So Singapore Sentinels take out that pink ward in that rush, but nevertheless, HQ Esports Club, now we do have a small breathing space for both teams here. It does look like HQ Esports Club, but just finding the right time to regroup as what we are seeing right now. It does look like they might want to collapse onto BenW up in the top lane. And there we go, Price is going strong against BenW here. He will use that Dragon's Descent to catch up onto BenW there. And there we go. The Flag Spear combo, but he will get caught out by the Cataclysm. And Mr. Alba is there with that kill onto him there. And he will back off in the exchange. So they take away one kill in the whole exchange. BenW is down, and they will look to take out this top lane turret.
Well, this is the AHU South lane League of Legends. We are at mid lane, we are at bottom lane. It's okay. We see your Shen at top lane. We are all gonna gather down there. We are going to use a superior vision advantage and compile onto the top tower and kill your Shen.
That's right. It does look like they have adapted to the 3.14 patch relatively well as well. They have kind of just translated that into their own playstyle as well. They have somewhat like a good disregard for turrets there. They often go behind the turret, route around that turret, pick up some kills for themselves, and then pick up one objective after that. And I like the style that they are adopting to.
Now, Singapore Sentinels must be feeling a bit frustrated here. They adjusted their game for this style of AHQ. They tried to bring the same strategy that they wanted to bring in the first game, but now it's not working out for them again. Once again, AHQ all over them, all over the place, killing them under the turrets, killing them behind the turrets, tower diving them, and getting kills all over the place.
That's right. So I think it's pretty much because what AHQ has done. There we go, with the flash coming in from Kailing as well, and he goes in with the standard attack, and there we go, 3-man shockwave, and BenW nevertheless picks up the kill onto Mr. Elvis there. It just looks like that is the opening that they kind of need to try to bring themselves back to this game, but they have to translate that into objectives. But HQ Esports Club, they are just right around the corner. Will they collapse onto Singapore Sentinels? They are just quickly regrouping up right back into the mid lane. And Singapore Sentinels looking to just push onto it. There we go, the Flag Spear combo onto Nate there. And the Super Mega Death Rocket not going to kill anyone in the process. And they're still surviving there, but BenW will get his shutdown goal. And the intervention will keep him alive in the process. And the Zap is not going to land in the meanwhile. So Singapore Sentinels finally finding the kills that they desperately need. That's the 2 kills going to BenW there, and he survives as well, and I think that's the most favorable outcome they would want in that exchange.
I think there was a bit careless there by the AHQ Esports Club. Mr. Albus wasn't there. They had no shockwave engagement. Cataclysm at a point of time was down for Ness as well. So they shouldn't have picked the fight on there. They should have waited about 10 seconds more or so, waited for Cataclysm to be up, and fought the 4-on-4 when they had the item advantage.
Right, I also thought for a fact that Garena Devil released the Super Mega Death Rocket a little too prematurely, and because of that, he was unable to kind of secure any kills for himself, and BenW was just able to walk away safely under the protection of the intervention.
And we see Kailing here swapping his warding totem for the sweeping lens. I think with those 2 kills, SGS must be feeling that we are starting to get some momentum back into this game. We wanted to go for the mid-game composition. We are starting to pick up some momentum. So let's try to get back some of that vision control onto the map. So Kailing sells his warding totem after completing his side stone and goes for the sweeping lens to start clearing out the wards of the AHQ team.
Right, they do have to remember though, between Singapore Sentinels and HQ Esports Club, the only member for Singapore Sentinels who has a good CS advantage over their counterpart is going to be Choi, so he has to step up the game, and it does look like he will be finishing up that Trinity Force relatively quickly. And there we go, Garena Devil with that cheeky one to spot the entire team of Singapore Sentinels, and that is going to be a full camp attempt coming in from them.
Well, Singapore Sentinels went in there, they knew that Dragon was up, they knew that they had to make something happen, so they went in there for the trap, they camped in the brush, but Garnet Devil with the 6th sense there, senses that there's something wrong down there, drops the ward, and gets it and makes it safe for the HQ team.
And I like what HQ did as well. They forced the entire team of Singapore Sentinels to back off into their own base through teleport, and because of that, they were able to create the space that they need to take out this Dragon attempt. And there we go, Hallelujah with the undertow, but it's not going to be enough. And once again, HQ Esports Club securing one more Dragon for themselves, but now sitting at a good 5,000 goal lead. So they do have that dominating goal, and they have somewhat translated that into items as well. But we do see the aggression starting to slow down there, especially after that 2 kills that Singapore Sentinels were able to pick up in the mid-game. So I think this is the best chance for Singapore Sentinels to regroup, find the momentum that they need, like you mentioned earlier, and to get the space once again to fight against HQ Esports Club.
Exactly, as I mentioned, the Singapore Sentinels, their momentum is about to start in the mid-game. We have hit 20 minutes into the game, 3 Dragons are down, and this is when teams start to get the mid-game rolling. The Singapore Sentinels, they're starting to hit the item trashers on their side. Trinity Force is already up for Chowie. Sunfire Cape has been up for Shen for quite a while. And And the kill on Cryonics has started to pick up the Sheen as well. So Singapore Sentinels, they're starting to get their items up, and maybe this is the time to let the composition show and let them take over the mid game of this game.
But they do have to choose their fights carefully though, because for HQ Esports Club, they are still having their goal advantage, and for Garnet Devil, he does have that Infinity Age completer as well. That's going to be a whole ton of damage, and Mr. Elvis finishing the major item as well, the Rabadon's Death Cat. That's going to give him a whole lot of damage as well. So Singapore Sentinels, they do have to choose their fights carefully.
But look at the wall control coming in from the AHQ team all over the Singapore Sentinels jungle. They even have one in their base to spot out the movement of the Singapore Sentinels.
That's right. So I think what HQ Esports Club is trying to do is just replicate what they did in game number 1. Maintain full control of Singapore Sentinels jungle and then find the necessary picks. And they do have the mechanisms to do so as well, given the fact that Green Tea will be able to find the right hooks to gain them the victory. But Singapore Sentinels, they are now creating some pressure on their own end as well. I like what Ben W is doing. He's just moving around the map, making sure that he's just applying pressure on an off lane and then creating some space for Singapore Sentinels. But let's look like this time around, Singapore Sentinels wants to respond to this bottom lane siege that HQ Esports Club is putting on. There we go! The Death Sentence landing onto Choi and everything gets blown onto him. And I think that was a relatively good bait coming in from HQ Esports Club. Everything got blown there to protect Choi, and Ben W has to bring himself back into this bottom lane to defend this bottom siege. So if HQ Esports Club manage to find a good opening with the command shockwave or something like that, then definitely they'll go in from there. Look at the amount of damage just from one exchange from Mr. Albus.
Now this is going to be the longest 2 minutes of this game for the Singapore Sentinels. They just blew all the ultimates and they need to wait for the ultimate to come up before
Oh, there we go with the flash con, and Ben W, and everything gets blown out of proportion of that one, and next with a good cataclysm to just keep everyone into play. Cryonics will pick up the kill onto Mr. Albus there, but Garnet Devil having a whole lot of damage. He won't be able to bring Choi down the exchange. That's a double kill with them. He is so excited at this point of time. It does look like he will continue to chase onto this, and that is a 3-for-1 exchange in the favor of HQ Esports Club. It does look like they will choose to back off from there, and they will not pursue.
As I was saying, Singapore Sentinels, they needed to wait for the ultimates to go back up before they started to play the fight. They didn't wait for it, and they paid the price for it. They lost 3 people for the price of 1.
Right, it does look like that was not the fight that they were looking for, but good choice for AHQ Esports Club. You know, they responded to the fight relatively well. And there we go with the replay. Walk us through it, J-Storm.
Now here we see the Shen flashes in, gets the taunt off, and here comes the response from the AHQ team. And we see Olaf going after Mr. Albus, goes in there, hits him, takes him down, but yet at the same time, AHQ, because Singapore Sentinels, their ultimates were all not up, AHQ had the ultimates up, they went in, they got off the engage they wanted, and there we go. They picked up 1, they picked up 2, and oh, we didn't get to see the
So we're right back into this game, and I think the area of focus for Singapore Sentinels were not really quite on point, because for most part of it, Garnet Devil was just left untouched, and because of that, he was able to make full use of the passive, get excited to just roam around the map and the area as well to just secure as much kills as he needed. So Singapore Sentinels there, not finding the fight that they want, but nevertheless, they are sitting at a 7,000 gold deficit. And with the changes coming into Season 4, it is not impossible to stage a comeback, but like we mentioned earlier, they need to choose their fights carefully, and the one down at bottom lane, definitely not the one that they wanted.
Definitely not the fight that they wanted there. Their ultimates were all down, and they went in there, they got completely destroyed by the AHQ combination of Shockwave and Cataclysm. So now AHQ, they're starting to hit their second set of item thresholds as well. Jinx has the Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge up. Orianna, Athene's Unholy Grail, Rabadon's Death Cap, Jarvan picking up the Locker, the Iron Solari, and Shavana picking up the Spirit Visage after the Sunfire Cape there.
So once again, HQ Esports Club will group up in the bottom lane. So they are just finishing up what they came here to do, which is to take down the bottom turret. And come around, it does look like HQ Esports Club will be able to do so with the zoning potential coming in from Green Tea as well as Mr. Albus. So slowly and steadily chunking it down. And BW, actually at this point in time, he is pretty tanky, having that Warden's Mill as well as the Sunfire's Cape. So the Zap did not do too much damage, but the main area of focus here is how are they going to bring down the squad of HQ Esports Club, because they themselves are pretty tanky.
But looking at the SGS team here, all their cooldowns up, and there we go.
Oh, the death sentence lands, and it's not gonna. The chomper is not gonna connect though. So Pride actually taking a whole ton of damage for that one. Singapore Sentinels might choose to go in for this one if they want to, but they have to be careful of how they position themselves because the threat of the command shockwave is still very imminent coming in from Mr. Albus.
I think Singapore Sentinels now must be looking at the items of the AHQ team and thinking and feeling a bit uncomfortable down here. They've only completed about one major item for most of the champions and 2 for their carries. But on the side of the AHQ team, they have all completed. Oh, here we go.
There we go with the desert once again. The true shot barrage comes in as well. And there we go with the 3-man shockwave just catching Kyling way off guard there. And Ben W getting kept alive with that small amount of intervention, but that's not going to buy him enough time to finish off Green Tea there. And Green Tea survives with less than 10% of his HP there. And that is a 2-for-0 exchange in the favor of HQ Esports Club. So they will take down the bottom inner turret. And it does look like they will continue to work onto the bottom next turret as well. Inhibitor turret as well, but they decide to back off after seeing Hallelujah charge right back in with the home guards.
Extremely well played there from Nas and Mr. Albus. Nas went there, caught 3-man the Cataclysm. Mr. Albus definitely did not drop the ball there, went in there, caught 3-man the Shockwave, and that amount of damage from the 2 ultimates completely wrecked the Singapore Sentinels team. Their little cute combos of Kill, Shen, and Olaf was not enough to save them.
Right, I think HQ Esports Club, especially Mr. Albus, has been playing this rather beautifully at this point of time. Because for the most part, especially in the GPL actually, as we say that Kyling goes in with the Flash and the Dazzle as well, and the Flame Chompers were able to keep Singapore Sentinels off bay, and the Rainbow just slowing Kyling slowly and steadily with the Talisman of Ascension. He will be able to run away. There we go with the Flash, and Choi was able to avoid the knockout, but will he be able to avoid that? Super Mega Death Rocket comes into the fray. Mace will take a whole lot of damage for his team. Singapore Sentinels desperately disengaging. The Shockwave will not land onto Singapore Sentinels, and they will be able to back up from there, but nevertheless, the amount of threat that HQ is able to put out the Singapore Sentinels just way too much for them to handle. And you know, looking at this point of time in the game, Singapore Sentinels, they are unable to be the aggressors. They are playing reactionary to what HQ Esports Club have in store for them. So this is quite a worrying telltale sign, especially given the fact that they are still 10,000 gold behind.
The worst part for the Singapore Sentinels here is that the Shen split push can't really happen because Shen is so far behind Shyvana. Any duel between them, Shyvana will win. So therefore, the split push plan on Shen there is not really going to work out for Singapore Sentinels. So Singapore Sentinels need to put themselves together. They need to move in to AHQ, start to find pickoffs, and start to try and get something going for them in terms of kills and objectives.
But HQ Esports Club, they are quite proficient, like we were mentioning earlier. They know for the fact that for Singapore Sentinels to come back into this, they will need to pick them off one by one. But HQ Esports Club, they are just grouping up repeatedly. Once they know that Singapore Sentinels, they are in their own zones, they will just go in for the team fight. And I think that's what they are primarily doing at this point of time, as they do take out the Dragon once again. So securing, you know, just everything, pretty much everything on the map here, and just taking every single scraps of gold away from Singapore Sentinels.
We see some pings going off there for the Singapore Sentinels onto Baron. They might want to go for Desperation Baron. You look at the goalie here, they are 10,000 gold behind the HQ Esports Club. They need to make something happen, and Desperation Baron might be one of the things that might help them get back into this game.
Right, it does look like they are eyeing on their major objective, but will they choose to go for it? But the thing about it is, it's a very dangerous position for them to fight as well, because there's that Cataclysm and as well as that Command Shockwave, as we've seen time and time again coming in from Mr. Albus, and that has done so much for them. So I think they will be looking to kind of catch AHQ if they are doing it, and then probably going for the engage. But HQ Esports Club, they are just gathering up and shoving up the waves as much as they can.
Now we see the AHQ Esports Club, they are pushing bottom, they are pushing top, they are completely everywhere on the map. And look at the walk coverage from them. It might not have been as much as just now, but their walk coverage centered around Baron now. They know that Singapore Sentinels, one of their few outs is to sneak a Baron in and try and get some Desperation Baron off.
Oh, look at Sentinels. They want to go in for this one. It's a 5v4 because Price is quite far away from them, but HQ Esports Club, they knew what was coming their way and they will disengage from that, and it does look like Price will shove up the mid lane instead in response to this. And Singapore Sentinels, they're still on the defensive end on this one. They are still turtling up and making full, making full sure that they will not go in for a reckless engage.
And look at this, all the HQ Esports Club has gathered down here at the top lane. Bottom lane, the minions are pushing in for them, and because of that, HQ Esports Club, they've been comfortable having all 5 members gather here at the top lane.
Oh, there we go. The Death Centers will land onto Ben W there, but it's not going to do anything. The 3-man Shockwave will catch Singapore Sentinels, and the Super Mega Death Record this time not going to be securing the kill once more, but that is substantial pressure being put on by HQ Esports Club there. It looks like Singapore Sentinels will not challenge this attempt, and HQ Esports Club once again taking another global objective away from the map.
That was very well disciplined there from the HQ Esports Club. They went in there, they hit 3-man with the Shockwave. They had no cataclysm to follow up immediately, so they say that let's back off, let's just grab the objectives and focus on what's important.
HQ Esports Club now with the dominating control of the map, and time will choose to go for Baron Asher, but Singapore Sentinels right around the corner, and True Shot Barrage a little too early. They will not get the steal, and HQ Esports Club takes up the purple buff for themselves.
Well, SGS down there, they must be feeling once again extremely frustrated with themselves. They have been falling time and time again to the aggression of the HQ Esports Club. And now, HQ Esports Club, they have picked up the Baron, they have a 12.6k goal lead coming into this engagement, and we are about to see, and perhaps we are about to see the end of the game.
Right, there we go. HQ Esports Club, they're just jumping onto the mid lane in Terminal Turret there, and I think that's going to be the most important area of focus for them, because it will open up once again a lot more map pressure that they need to secure the win over Singapore Sentinels. But Singapore Sentinels not giving up just of yet. They are just desperately defending in their base, and once HQ Esports Club, should they find a good opening, probably coming in from Ness with the Flag Spear combo or from Pride's with the Dragon's Descent, and you know, they look combo that up with the Shockwave, and I think that's going to be the game for Singapore Sentinels there. But right now, we don't want to count anything out just as of yet, but you know, it's quite grim for Singapore Sentinels at this point of time. Guarded Devil still has that long-range siege, coming in from the Fishbones as well, so Singapore Sentinels, they have to make something happen here.
Well, Singapore Sentinels, so far behind goals, so far behind objectives, so far behind in kills, and in terms of experience as well. Looking at the levels of the HQ team, almost 2 ahead on average.
There we go with the Command Shockwave, and this time around chain that up with the Super Mega Death Rocket. That's a lot of damage, and Mr. Elvis will survive with that one. No, actually, he will just go down the process, but he bought a lot of time for himself, and that is going to be the ace coming in from HQ Esports Club, and the triple kill going in from Pride as well. They will take down the mid inhibitor turret, and it does look like they might be able to finish the game with the respawn time of taking on so long. And HQ Esports Club once again with the dominating performance in this game, and they will take down the first Nexus turrets. The second Nexus turrets will follow suit as well. It does look like it's going to be GG well played, and HQ Esports Club will take game number 2 up against the Singapore Sentinels.
Aggression seems to be the word of the day. Aggressive play saw HQ take the first game of the night, and once again, extremely aggressive play saw him take the second as well. Well, let's see what HQ will bring in the third game and how Singapore Sentinels will choose to adapt their gameplay to deal with this super aggressive tower-ignoring, turret diving gameplay of HQ.
Right, I'm trying to wonder if Singapore Sentinels will want to give up that flash pick over to HQ Esports Club, because Green Tea has been consistently having that for himself time and time over and over again, and because of that, I think he was able to maintain control, especially down in the bottom lane. And most of the aggression coming in for HQ Esports Club, he has been responsible for that as well. So I think Singapore Sentinels might want to look at that to try to change up the strategy a little bit. And so Singapore Sentinels, they have gone for 2 strategies. One is kind of adapting to the 3.14 patch, bringing in some new champions. And for this time around, adapting a little bit to what they like to play and what they are comfortable to play with, that kill pick as well as that Shen pick. So in order to keep themselves alive, they have to pull out somewhat of a surprise factor in game number 3.